Welcome to Badger Beer Hour, November of 23. Landon and I are here to bring you the latest news, events. We have a history piece on Valkyrie Brewing. We have a news piece on Valkyrie Brewing, and I'm here with my friends from 608 Brewing. I got a dealer's choice Dunkelweizen. Just picked this up in the tap room last weekend, and it is tasting really, really well. So that's what I'll be sipping on. We will see what Landon is sipping on in the beer spotlight this week. I'm sorry, this month. And without further ado, it's news time, y'all. Oh, Landon, what's going
Hey,
on?
Greg. We got news. That's what's going on.
Long
Got all-
time no see. It's been a month.
It feels like it's been longer than a month. You know that? It really does.
Mm-hmm. This Dunkelweizen is making it go. It's going down real easy. Nice smoke to it too. A little
Yeah.
bit of smoke, not that much, but enough
Yeah.
to get those juices flowing. So
Yeah.
what we got a mixed bag of news this
And
week.
we do.
This
We
year.
do. It's not all bad news, but it's not all good news either. So
And also some that involves us.
yeah. Yeah, and we're gonna get to that. It
That's
was
interesting.
surprising. Yeah.
It's interesting.
So the growing community of Oregon, not Oregon, there's the difference between the city of Oregon, which is in Wisconsin, and Oregon, which is the state. So just so
Mhm.
everybody knows, yeah. They now have their own brew pub.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how to say this. Bodie Howe?
Yeah, that'll
Yeah,
work.
we'll go with that. Bodie Howe
Mhm.
Brewing Company. I'm sure I'll get told if I'm wrong, and I'm sure I'm probably wrong. Um, the owners are avid beer enthusiasts. That's good. That's a good start.
Yep.
Bicyclists and coffee drinkers. So all the pastimes that they have are under one roof. 201 Concord Drive. So near Highway 14 for those that are familiar with Oregon. So Bush, who also owns the headquarters bar and restaurant in Oregon and Deeks Pub and Grill in Stoughton, designed the new building to include the brewery, coffee shop with a drive-up window, the Oregon Bicycle Company. Scott Williams runs the bike shop. They sell and rent bikes. And then Max Schroeder oversees the brew house. This is what's sounding cool to me. And it's an open floor plan with high ceilings, large glass garage doors that open to a patio, large group tables then surround a central planter that has live hop vines reaching toward the skylights. Really cool. Sounds really cool.
Yep, and those are excerpts from the article from our friend or my friend Robin Shepard, but our friend too. And he's if y'all want to follow him, if y'all don't already, I don't know how y'all don't follow him. Beer Here writer on that X Twitter thing, kind of, but
Yeah.
he's an isthmus writer. So yeah, we got our information from there just so we get our sources correct. But yeah, I haven't been. And today was when I found out about it, Landon. I am not up on my news, but I'm going to head there hopefully Saturday because a new brew pub opening
Heck
up,
yeah.
especially good news since we've been deluged, I feel, with
Yeah.
closings and all kinds of bad news and people
So many.
selling. And yeah, so good times. Good luck to the guys at Bodie Howe and beer, coffee, and bikes. I mean, that's everything. I'm
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Right. In.
Some of the ones that they got coming up too, Scotch Ale, uh,
Mm.
Porter, Amber, the good stuff. The good stuff. Beer. Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, and obviously it doesn't sound like an IPA house, so I'm down with that.
Right.
And I
Yep.
love me some IPAs. We already know I love me some IPAs, but I mean, we need to have one or two more styles, y'all.
Yeah.
So yeah, what's going on next?
Our buddy Bobby Tanzillo had some news for us. So
Yeah.
he's got some news about Indeed Brewing. So we all know that Indeed Brewing started in Minneapolis. They still have a place there, but there's also their second brewery in Milwaukee. They are getting a new brewer or a new boss, I guess, a new boss.
Yeah, I like this story because well, you're gonna tell us why I like this story. The details in here.
Ryan Bandy has worked his way up through the ranks at Indeed Brewing. He started on the packaging line in 2012,
Yes.
so 11
Yes.
years ago. Yeah. Um, Now Bandy has been named the chief business officer. He's
Yeah.
replacing co-founder Tom Wisenan, who is leaving behind the day-to-day operations of the brewer business for a career, get this, as an airline pilot. Yeah.
Interesting, man.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting. I like this story because of the rise up from nowhere story. You gotta love that. You
Yep.
gotta you gotta love when they keep things in house because we're just I know I got gray hair and I show it, but when I was a young man, this is what always happened. You start in the mailroom, and next
And you
thing
work your
you're
way up.
CEO,
Yep.
and that's basically this. So I love it. It's a feel good story, something to feel good about. Kudos to the guy who's going to fly planes after working in a brewery. Very interesting.
Hey, man.
I love the
If
details
that's
of this one. I had fun with it when I saw it. I was like, "Oh, this is great! Can't wait."
we need pilots more than ever. So,
Absolutely. And if y'all want
yep.
more details on that, that is of course on allmilwaukee.com. And our friend Bobby Tanzillo uh spoke with the new CBO Ryan Bandy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so check that out if y'all are indeed fans, either in Minneapolis or in Milwaukee.
So with every we'll call those two stories good stories.
Yeah.
Yeah. With on Badger Beer Hour, with every two good stories, we have to have at least some bad stories. So unfortunately, Madison's Parched Eagle is going to
That's what I
cleanse,
heard.
or it is up for sale.
Up for
Um,
sale.
as we all know, with these sales, you never really know what's going to happen with them. So co-owner and
Right.
brewmaster Jim Goranson said he's had a good run, but it's time to move on. So he's operated Parched Eagle in Westport from 2015 to 2018, expanded to the present East Side location in 2017. He's had several inquiries, but has yet to receive a viable offer. He is selling the whole business, everything that's inside, and there may be an option to take over the lease, which ends next May. So,
Yeah. So
yeah,
May is the deadline for the sales, what I'm hearing.
yeah,
Um, and I say that uh as someone who has not talked to my friend Jim Gross, and that is my friend right there, not dropping names. You know how you know that you're a friend of somebody? When you help them move, Landon. I helped
yeah.
Jim move. One of the moves that he made, I was an employee at Price Eagle, and everybody's like, "Oh, let's just jump in and help Jim." And of course, we had beer, and had a good time doing it.
Oh, yeah.
But I've helped Jim move, so I consider him a friend of mine. I'm wishing him the best. He's already has a new job, but now he's doing two jobs. Brewing, he's still brewing some beer at the Parch Eagle. And then again, like I said, I don't know any inside information, even though Jim's my friend. We haven't talked for months. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm thinking like, man, that I'm sorry, that May date when the lease runs out is maybe the date that, to the point to where they can sell it. And they may have to go two different ways. They might go an ale to sound way if they have to sell the equipment, sell the brand. Parch Eagle's known for, I don't know, do your notes have that, Landon? Do you have more notes there or no?
Yeah. So among their beers, the Hop Bearer and a sort of
Yes.
IPA, Grainy
Up
Special
there.
Bitter,
Up there.
which is
ESB. It's an
ESB. Yeah.
ESB. It's a
Yep.
really nice ESB. One of the only ones, with all due respect to Madison, that I know that was brewed pretty much, a lot. And the Hop
Yeah.
Bear is the only other IPA, in my opinion, in this area here that kind of outsold it is Fantasy Factory, but of course that's a legend around here. And then what's Ale Asylum's Hopalicious, but that's a
Yeah.
pale, but
Yeah.
kind of like masking as an IPA. outside of those, man, Hot Bear is really one of the best IPAs in this town. Y'all need to get there really soon. Pay some respects to that, and hopefully we can get a cellar because Jim made a lot of bangers and made a really lot of nice good beers. Small batch. Park Eagle was always one of the smallest, if not the smallest one in Madison. So it really had that homey feel to it, both places. I'm going to miss it.
Yeah.
It's the only craft beer place I've ever worked at, or brew pub I've ever worked at. So this one holds a little bit in my heart. Wish Jim the best, and his co-owner. I can't say enough. And thanks Robin Shepard again.
Yeah.
On the Isthmus, y'all can find that article dated November 8th, and it might have some um additions to it too. So look for it, y'all. It might be coming out. You might be able to see some updates on that too. Robin Shepard's always on the case. I know that Robin Shepard has been a big fan of Parch Eagle. He was in there when I worked there, and it's actually that's where I met Robin Shepard mostly. So and Robin Shepard and I are friends too. Haven't talked to him in a little bit. Need to get around him, but yeah, y'all. The days are ticking on Parch Eagle. So if you haven't been there, go. If you have been, you already know. So check it out, y'all.
Yeah.
So
since we're talking about at least potential closings, this next one is a definite closing because they couldn't find a buyer. So as we've talked in previous months, I told you about Valkyrie and how they were looking for a buyer.
Yep.
Well, they have not found a buyer yet. So Ann and Randy are really wanting to retire, so they have set a date for the retirement. This is from Ann. She posted this on Facebook. It says, these are her words, not mine. As we have entered our 30th year in business, it is with a heavy heart that we have to announce that Randy and I are going to retire and will suspend operations at the brewery while we wait for a buyer. Our last day open will be on Saturday, January 6th, 2024. Please join us for our goodbye bash on January 6th. We're stopping to see us before then to say goodbye. Thank you for your support all these years. We appreciate all of you because truly it is about all the friends that you've met along the way. I have read some of the comments that they've made too. People have asked about tours, what their hours are going to be and such before January 6th. Anne indicated that they will be open Fridays and Saturdays from noon until I think 7. And then they will continue to do tours until they close. And of course, the brewery is still for sale. I think there's a pretty modest price on it for what you're getting. It's a very big building. And granted, you'd have to move to Dallas, Wisconsin, but I think it's maybe 300,000, something like that. It's pretty cheap. So
we have one comment. I don't know if you want to talk.
Yeah, I will miss Dallas Oktoberfest as well. I imagine it will still go on if they can find someone to carry on the celebration. Obviously, no Valkyrie beer unless they sell the place and someone starts brewing the beer again or brewing a different kind of beer. But yeah, Oktoberfest in Dallas, probably one of the coolest celebrations I've ever been to.
Yeah, you've always said that.
Yeah.
Hopefully something can be worked out there too. Another one. Looking to sell. Hopefully a sell.
Yeah.
Hopefully a brand acquisition or something. We've seen that a lot. So who knows?
Yep.
Never know. Maybe Christmas time is going to bring.
Yeah, right.
Manifest.
We can always hope. We can always hope.
Manifest.
That's right. Miracles on Christmas. That's what we're hoping.
There we go. Love it.
So we have another brewery that's closing. They are not in Wisconsin, but they are influential to Wisconsin. Metro Brewing in Chicago has confirmed that they are unable to resolve their differences with their landlord. They are left no choice but to close their business. The last day of their tap room will be Sunday, December 17th from 11 to 9 p.m.
And this is at least the second brewery we heard having location issues.
Yeah, even outside of Wisconsin, it seems like there's been lots within the last month that have closed
Right.
because of rent issues and
Yes.
whatever
Either
whatever
going
it is.
up or maybe they're behind. It's always something, there's devils in the details. And really, at the end of the day, for us as consumers, it really doesn't matter.
Right.
It's the closing. And
Yep.
basically, at the end of the day, why it's almost like one of those times, Lynn, and I don't want to get my macabre, child, but like sometimes it's like, somebody dies and you're like, well, how did they die? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like for me, a lot of the times it doesn't matter because they're gone. Like I just dealing with that as opposed to how it all happened. I mean, unless there's some criminal thing involved, at some
Right.
point I'm just like, okay, cool. But if there's a criminal thing involved, then we need to get motivated, and you know what I'm saying. But like,
Yep.
the breweries are kind of the same. Like, we find out that they're going down, and we're like, hey, what's going on? Why did it happen? It's a shame. But there's been a lot of these, as landlord issues, but
Oh yeah.
that's just a myriad of things that could go wrong.
Right.
So, and you can't just move. What I learned from the modicum thing is that you can't just move a brewery. It's not that simple, and you need spaces that accommodate your budget, but also your equipment. What are you gonna say,
Right.
Lynn?
Right. That's what I was gonna say is that, yeah, you can't, as much as you would like to think of a brewery as just another business, um, it's not. It needs plumbing. There are specific plumbing things that need to
Mhm.
be fit and when a brewery opens, it didn't just happen, that they came up with it and 2 weeks later they opened a brewery.
Right.
So, it's much the same as when you go to move it. Yeah,
Yeah, and
everything has to be in place.
right, and one of the things I don't think people get, but I think, during when I go to Wisconsin Dells Brewing. I don't know if you've ever been there at Moose Jaw there.
Yeah.
Um, all their equipment landed, or a bunch of their equipment is on second level. So that
Oh,
second level
yeah.
has to support all that weight, like
Yeah.
literally. And they talk about how they couldn't fit everything they wanted to up there because the liquid is just so heavy when you got it all there. And I don't even think people think of that. So,
Right.
there has to be like, enough support for all that liquid, especially when you got these big ass tanks and you fill it up with all liquid and you need to have that, you know what I mean? So there's so many
Yep.
logistics that we don't even understand, even for most beer drinkers like us have taken like what 6 or 7 tours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've taken
Yeah.
a tour of every place we've been to, and even those things are like, wow. Like Lakefront is the one that really kind of jumps off for me, the way the design is and all that. You can't just be like, all right, Lakefront, you got to move. No,
Right.
it doesn't.
It ain't gonna happen. Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
Right, right. So,
Yep.
cheers to not cheers, but hopefully they have a good send off. Metropolitan is a beer, Jason, Wisconsin adjacent brew. We all know it. We've all had it. I think isn't there Dunkelweizen or something really really banger. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I don't
something like
remember
that.
that. Yeah, they got a really really good. They had some really good ones. Some bangers. So they will be missed. So if y'all
Yeah.
down in Chicago area during that time, before then, that'd be maybe a good time to make them a priority, so you can get some before it's getting gone.
Yep. We've talked in previous months. This isn't necessarily bad news. It is bad news for some people, but we talked about that bill. I think it was in the spring, even um, that was going to give breweries the ability to sell more beer and sell hard liquor on premise and all of those things, but it was going to be bad for supposedly wedding barn owners. I don't know anything
Hmm.
about owning a wedding barn,
Hmm.
but today, I think it was today or was it yesterday?
I think
Um,
it was sometime this week for sure. Yep.
by a 20-11 vote, the Senate passed the wide-ranging bill that creates a new division of alcohol regulation. It gives breweries more freedom, like Ed said. It also adds new regulations that seemingly is going to hamper wedding barn owners from doing what they do, and in theory, going to crush many of their businesses. So we'll see how that
Yeah,
works out.
there was a lot of passionate testimony from them during this whole thing. And but generally, as far as we're concerned, y'all, the breweries, The big ones liked it. If you remember, New Glarus and Lakefront liked it. There were some little quirky things that the smaller breweries didn't like, but I think most of them got switched out.
Yeah, I think
Um,
so because McFleshman's was pushing for it a couple days ago, saying to contact your senators. So
yeah, right,
if McFleshman's is pushing for it, they're one of the smaller ones. So
right.
it must have been good.
And we had that interview with our friend from Amorphic Brewing, the owner. You can find that on Badger Beer Hour on the YouTube page. And he goes to pretty eloquently about the issues that he had, and there were really some only just little quirks. Overall, he said it was a good bill for the small owners too. So that's another small owner chiming in saying, "Hey, overall, this is something that we wanted." So the technicalities of it, y'all. It says here that it passed the Wisconsin vote or the Senate, but now it's got to go back to the Assembly because they made a little bit tweaks. But the Assembly is expected to approve it, and Governor Evers is expected to sign it. So we talked about this like 6 months ago, but y'all
Yeah,
know up in Madison, it takes a while for them to do things like this. So they got around to it finally, and it's moving. So this should help our breweries. Yeah, wedding barn owners, for what I know, they're really passionate against it. So hopefully they can find a way to still do that. I don't plan to get married, and I don't know if I'm going to do it in a barn, Landon. So it's not my thing, but I don't, we don't want to be negative towards them for no,
right,
we want
right.
everybody to be able to have their own business, and if that's your business. So hopefully, maybe they can get the kinks out. But as far as we're concerned, as beer drinkers, I believe this is going to be a helpful thing,
Right.
because the breweries say it's a helpful thing. So
Yep. Yep.
excellent. Let's
Correct.
go. All right.
Last bit of news actually involves us somehow. Um,
Um, yeah, this is an interesting one to come across our uh we don't really have anything to let's see here. So where is it? So let's just look at the Carbon for co-owner sues the partners alleging Ale Asylum deal is not in Carbon 4's best interests. Brothers Ryan and Zach plan to revive the Ale Asylum beer, starting with Hopalicious. And they've done that.
and they've done that.
Um,
Yep.
Now, as Ryan explained on our uh, interview here, which I will play, I'm gonna play it, but y'all won't hear it. You see here, Ryan is talking to Chris, and apparently, this interview here is going to be used in the lawsuit. And I guess they believe that his partners believe that Ryan said something or is important to, I guess, proving their case or something like that. So
Yeah.
we don't know any of the details of this. We weren't privy to this. Chris told us about it on our back channels. That's how Landon and I found out. I mean, we knew about I think Landon, you said you knew about or you saw about the lawsuit, right? But you didn't know we
I
were.
saw the lawsuit. I did not see anything that mentioned Badger Beer Hour. So
Yeah, so if
yeah.
y'all would like to go see that interview, it's out on our YouTube page. Check it out. You just go to our thing and you can see that. We're not going to play that again because we already did. I think our stand, or at least I'll speak for myself, and for Badger Beer, I will speak for. We just want the best for everybody involved. We are
Right.
friends with Ryan. We thank Ryan for coming on. But one of the funny things, Landon, is that that shows y'all that we are the outlet for your beer news and your beer interviews because that video, I'm pretty sure that's the only video that Ryan probably did live and or kind of interview format. Even if he did do some kind of news piece, they chop it up, y'all, and only give
Yeah.
you 2 minutes. I'm pretty sure Chris and Ryan were talking for like 20 minutes here.
Oh yeah, it was a
Um,
long one.
yeah, and I'm pretty sure you can find it under the interview tab, so you won't have to watch the whole Badger Beer Hour. You can just watch that specific interview because we do chop up the interviews and put them out there, so y'all can just watch it clean. So if y'all want to see what they think Ryan said that needs to be involved in a lawsuit, you can go check that out. I don't really have anything to say about the content of it. Y'all can check it out and y'all can speak for yourself. And I guess soon enough we'll see what the whole lawsuit's about. Landon and I can sit here and speculate, but we don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Y'all can speculate in the comments if you want, and we'll go back and forth with you, and we can talk about it that way. But yeah, we're just happy that we do an important job here, Landon. That people feel that they should. I don't know.
Hey,
We hope Ryan and all of them the best. We have no dog in this fight. We're not paid by anyone. I wish we
but
were, but we're not.
but thanks for the publicity.
But yeah, thanks for the
Yeah.
publicity.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I don't know if you have any comments on it, Landon. I talked a little bit there.
No, I read a little bit into, and I wish I could tell you what story I read. I read a little bit into the case, without going into real deep detail about it. It
Mhm,
just seems like Ryan and his brothers started a separate LLC to acquire the Ale Asylum brand,
mhm, mhm.
and then started brewing it at Carbon 4. The other partner for Carbon 4 did not like that, and didn't know anything about it. So
Mm,
that's, simply put, I'm
mm.
sure there's way more detail in it than that.
Right. Because I
But
was wondering about those details. I'm sorry, you go. I'm sorry.
yeah, but simply put, that's the gist of it.
Yeah, and I guess it's all going to come out in court, but
Oh yeah,
or unless they settle. But
yeah,
I was wondering since Ryan and his brother bought it, not Carbon 4, like that was the first interesting, like, So did Ryan and his brother ask their other partner to do it? He said no, or did they just do it on their own? I guess the devil's in those details, and we'll find out.
yep.
And I think that may be the crux of it all too. So it's going to be very interesting. I do see Hopalicious around, and I do see Ambergeddon around, and so the brand is still around. I still see it. I haven't been to the tap room in a bit, but that means I need to go because I am Sport K4.
There you
So
go.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's just interesting. We thought that y'all would think that's interesting. We thought it was interesting. And yeah, so that's I think that's the news
that is the news
for
for
November,
November.
and we're actually part of it. That's just it's still kind of weird, man. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm proud of us. Proud of us. Still weird though. Still
Yeah,
weird.
yeah.
So what's not weird is our so we talked about Valkyrie Brewing. Landon, I don't know if you want to set us up for what's about to happen.
Yeah, so Valkyrie Brewing hasn't really changed all that much since 1994, I believe was the year that they started. Other than the fact that they used to be called, and you'll find in the video that they used to be called by a different name. Um,
Oh,
yeah, so here is the video that we did from Taproom Travelers. It pretty much details everything that there is at Valkyrie Brewing and some of their history, including their previous name.
excellent. And as we know from the last news story, you never know who's watching Badger Beer Hour.
Right?
So maybe we can find a seller for our friends at Valkyrie Brewing. You never know, Landon. I never thought we'd be talking about.
Dallas is a nice little town.
Yeah, and I never thought
Yep.
we'd be talking about us in a lawsuit. So
Yeah, right.
you never know. You
Never
never
know.
know. So enjoy this, y'all. And that's uh for what's Chris usually say? And that's
That's the
the
news for
news.
November of 2023.
Right. We can't say it like a newsman, but we
No.
can try, Chris. We can try.
Well, it's a nice drive over here from wherever you're coming from. I mean, every direction, it's a real pretty drive.
The beer is superb, and Randy and Ann and their children are terrific, so we're here.
The owners talking about the beer and the enthusiasm, because we heard the story of how the business has grown and what they do with Oktoberfest, and explaining the brews and how they do it. So I really like that enthusiasm of just talking about beer, and of course the beer.
Coming here is a nice experience too. It's nice to see all the things that Ann has been doing in here. It looks a lot like Norway. And the beer is a hell of a lot cheaper than in Norway.
Well, my name is Randy Lee. I'm a co-conspirator here at Valkyrie Brewing Company.
I'm Ann Lee. I'm the other one. He's
Well,
the-
one of us doesn't do, the other one does. And even then, I get the blame.
Yes.
We met 20 years ago, and I was farming at the time, and dairy farming just south of town. And that went south like a lot of farms did. But through that experience, we realized that we wanted to work together, do something together as a family unit. So the idea of the brewery presented itself, and said, sure, let's go do that. So we ran this as a small mom and pop shop. It's a lot like farming in a lot of ways. You know, the good news is you get to do everything, and the bad news is you get to do everything. This is the best smell in the brewing process. Malto meal. Most breweries in this country are actually brew pubs, and they're very space constrained. And a vertical tank gets you lower floor space. With the ceiling heights we have downstairs, of course, we can't put tall tanks in there. Beer is, interestingly enough, cognizant of its container. And they like horizontal containers better than they like vertical containers, strangely enough. So it's actually better for the beer. We use primarily dairy equipment here. Dairy equipment is actually better built than brewing equipment because brewing is technically a pickling process, and nothing can live in beer that will do you serious damage, unlike milk, which will kill you if you don't handle it right. Equipment destined for milk use is polished deeper and has fewer cracks for things to hide in, so it's actually better equipment than brewing equipment is. Weirdly enough, milk equipment is cheaper than brewing equipment. So when the farmers would have a tank that springs a Freon leak, they got about 4 hours to get it changed out and get a new one in. And those tanks would come to us because they're junk to the farmer, but they're good for us.
It is a great deal of work, but there's a lot of rewards, a lot. We get to meet so many great people. We're involved with the local food network and small farms, and it's all cooperating together. We get to meet a lot of people that way, and it's really great. I have a children's garden. Had 7 kids last year planted their own garden box, and I supply all the plants and seeds, and they can pick out whatever they want to grow, and they can keep what they grow. And so it's just kind of hands-on. And it's all about building community. And yes, a brewery is good for a community. Small towns just have their own charm and their own speed.
We're from Eau Claire. We have a cabin in Chautauqua. Have seen the ads about Oktoberfest all over western Wisconsin.
And I would also recommend coming for Oktoberfest. Well, maybe I shouldn't because it's so good now that...
The Oktoberfest is always on the first Saturday in October. It starts out with a pancake breakfast, and let's see, we have arts and crafts, we have the Cube tournament, which is a real big draw. We get a lot of people for that, and of course, brats. We had a very long, colossal brat last year. We've done this same thing for about 5 years now. Every year the brat gets a little bit longer. Last year's brat was 155 feet long. I always razz him because he's a nuclear engineer that it doesn't take a rocket scientist to brew beer, but it sure helps. So, we have a lot of fun with what we do. We just
Gotta have
love
fun.
it.
Yes.
One year during the Oktoberfest, we sold the Viking name, and so the trademark name Viking, and changed our name then to Valkyrie. But after we sold the trademark, we decided we should have a Viking funeral. So we built with our friend and son a 15-foot-long Viking ship, and we set it sail out in the pond. And then I had a friend he's an archer, so he shot flaming arrows into it, and
Set it on fire.
set it on fire. So that was a nice ending, kind of a closure for Viking, and we're ready to carry on as Valkyrie. It really does fit with our whole Viking theme and heritage.
20 years ago, when we first started, we were the first microbrewery into western Wisconsin. So it was a micro what here? There were no business models to follow, so we thought we could do this. The only models really were out in the West Coast and the Rocky Mountain states. So we said, well, gee, they can get away with doing keg only, and bottling is painful. So we tried to come up as a keg only brewery, and what we didn't realize at that time, the average tavern around here had 2.5 taps. One of them's Bud, one of them's Miller. If you've got a third, it's Liney's. You don't pop any of those. New bars that are being built and ones that are being rebuilt, they're almost all building with 12 or 24 taps, large tap spaces. But that's a new thing in this area. We quickly changed into bottling, 22-ounce bottles, and started filling those so that we could get some shelf space somewhere. Even today, we do about 80% bottles.
And a lot of our beers are seasonal ones because beers should be in a season. They just need to be. The building, because it's so large, it's so cold in the wintertime that we're left with only brewing lagers through the winter. And then once it warms up enough, then we can start doing ales again.
People in general are starting to get more accepting of trying something odd. 20 years ago, people were still very much in the mode of drinking a particular beer because that's what your parents drank, and everything else was garbage because it wasn't that. If we were drinking Old Milwaukee or Pabst or whatever, Nowadays, people they're not brand loyal, they're category loyal. So if you drink IPA drinkers, you look at anybody's refrigerator that's a micro beer drinker, and they won't have one brewery in there. They'll have 8 or 10 breweries of, generally the same stuff in there. So it's changed quite a lot. We're known for a lot of beers that kind of turn heads in the critics and get press and that kind of thing, but you don't sell a lot of it. It's one of those odd things in the brewing industry is that it's like movies and too is what the critics like and what people like tend to be two different things.
We are in a book called 1,001 Beers to Have Before You Die, so it's kind of nice.
We were about the first year into it when we did the Big Swede. And I did a 3-barrel batch of the Big Swede, and I figured, this is going to be good for years in the keg, so who cares if it takes us 2 or 3 years to sell this. And we sold it out in 3 months. Couldn't have told us or our distributors that there were that many dark beer drinkers in the whole area. It was just amazing.
Well, this is Big Swede. I don't have to ask for it when I walk in.
Get some more Big Swede and Warhammer and whatever else is available here, because we love the beer.
There's 2 ways of coming up with beers. One of them is inspiration, and the other one is purposeful. The purposeful ways of doing it are we look at our lineup of beers and decide what hole we want to fill by style. And then what we'll do is we'll go and research the style. The other way of doing beer is inspirational. Things like the hot chocolate. That stemmed out of doing a tour one February when it was mightily cold downstairs, and she was sitting downstairs and decided that she wanted a beer to warm us up.
And I want chocolate now.
So we sat down and figured out how to do that. So there's two routes to beer. They both get you in good places.
We come up with the names for our beer in a lot of different ways. For instance, a real good example was we had a local blacksmith, and I can talk about the weapons here. This is great. He made both of the battle axes, the warhammer, the ring mail, and the spear. And when we first met him, he came in and he brought the warhammer. And I just love that weapon. It's just really sweet. It's got a real heft to it. So I knew I had to name one of our beers after that weapon. So we named it our Coffee Oatmeal Milk Porter Warhammer. Our newest one is going to be a cider. It's called Forbidden Fruit. Supernova is an Australian style IPA, and we came up with that name because we were using Galaxy hops in that, so it kind of made sense. Raven Queen is a black wheat IPA with star anise, so it's black licorice, which Raven Queen is another name for Valkyrie. Abby Normal was another one. That's a Mel Brooks. We're fans of Mel Brooks, so that comes from the movie Young Frankenstein. Well, I'd encourage people to come and visit us. We have the tap room open on Fridays and Saturdays. We're open noon to 8 o'clock, and you can come in and you're welcome to have 4 free 2-ounce samples. And if you come on Saturdays at 1 o'clock, Randy runs tours, and then we go through and sample all we got.
Oh, I love Valkyrie. I really wish I could have found some Valkyrie beer before our show tonight. Otherwise, I would have did the beer spotlight on them easily. But I don't believe that we've ever had a beer spotlight with one of my favorite types of beer, because Chris doesn't necessarily like it all that much. So, hi to Chris, by the way. So what we're doing tonight is Lakefront's Pumpkin Imperial Ale, because everybody knows I love pumpkin. They canned it this year, of course. Yes, that was a picture I took upstairs before. That was nice. This little guy ages very well. So I don't the greatest thing about this beer is that normally imperials and barrel-aged beers tend to be a tad what I would consider hot or boozy right when they come off. So if you're drinking them fresh, we always encourage people to drink fresh beer. These ones tend to seem a little boozy. This, however, as a matter of fact, it's like drinking a old fashioned with pumpkin flavoring, but not boozy, if that makes any sense. You get a little bit of the brandy. You don't get a ton of brandy flavor. You get what I would consider just pumpkin spice. So not really, because as we all know, pumpkin tastes like, a vegetable. It tastes vegetally or whatever you want to consider that. This is more of the spice that you would put in like a pumpkin pie. So you get cinnamon, clove, and then you get a little bit of that boozy barrel aged flavor from the brandy barrels. So the great thing about these beers, like I said, you can buy a 4-pack, drink a couple of them, put the other 2 on the shelf, save them for a few years down the road. I've still got stuff from like 2019. So, and they just get better with age. So, Lakefront is, as we've discussed before, Lakefront is one of my favorite breweries in this state. And I've never had a bad beer from them. So, cheers to Lakefront Brewery and Pumpkin Imperial Ale.
That looks good, Landon.
It is
I'm
good, man.
liking it.
So good.
Yeah. One last shot, y'all. It's that one. And I haven't had that one in a while.
Yeah.
I did. So lucky you, because I'm pretty sure we probably can't be able to find that one now. It's probably all sucked up. But next year, y'all, make sure you get on it.
Yeah. In case I forget, I would usually do this for, but Michael Stodela, who we had on the show with Russ from Lakefront, his My Turn beer just came up. So,
okay. Any details on that, real quick?
That's Czech Dark Lager, I believe.
All right, that's not.
Yeah, and he's looking all badass on the can art with his motorcycle.
Okay.
Yeah,
we all, everybody, y'all, anybody who drinks Lakefront beer knows about their My Turn, and They always have
Yeah.
interesting styles, so that's why I asked about that.
My turn
So-
would be if I worked there and I got a turn, it'd be just another pumpkin something or another.
I don't care. It would work because most of
Right.
them work. And speaking of lakefront,
Speaking of lakefront, we've talked about this a little bit.
this shit's
I d-
ridiculous.
I don't think we went into great detail about it. So,
No.
as we all know, Thanksgiving's coming up.
It's just
Black
ridiculous.
Friday's coming up. For those
Mhm.
of you that don't really want to do any Christmas shopping or
Mhm.
anything like that, why
Mhm.
don't you go to Lakefront Brewing for Black Friday? The doors open at 8 a.m., but I hear that you probably should just be there at midnight.
Mm,
Or
yeah.
maybe before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this year is their 12th year offering of barrel aged, gold standard, and limited beer releases. So buckle up for this. Their Black Friday Imperial Stout, the one I think that started it all, aged in bourbon and brandy barrels, both of those, 19.2 ounce cans being sold for $20 each. Yeah. And then the Black Friday Triple Black IPA, also
Oh
in a
my
19.2 ounce can,
God.
$20. The Black Friday Double Barrel Aged Christmas Cookie Barley Wine, say that 5 times
Oh
fast,
my God.
for $30. And last but not least, their Black Friday 5-year-old stout. It has been aging in bourbon barrels since 2018. Yeah. So
One can.
one can, $30, 19.2 ounces.
And if y'all think that's pricey, I'm not saying I disagree or not, but it won't last long. So
No.
that's
Yeah,
No.
they said I think a lot of these they said less than 1,000 cans are available.
right. And I mean, how does that? Again, I don't know if y'all want to spend that money. If y'all can, more power to you.
Yeah.
But that all sounds so delicious, Landon.
Also, if you want to share after you spend that money, we're
we
more
have
than
two
open to that.
volunteers. Yeah,
Yeah.
we have two volunteers. Up north, we got up north in Madison covered. And well, we won't talk about Chris. He gets enough of this free beer anyway. No, he doesn't need any more advertising.
So if you buy 4 cans, which will cost you
100.
100 honey. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a new collectible souvenir dated Black Friday glass.
Okay.
Yeah. So you
Just
don't
take-
you don't just get yeah, you get something out of it.
Yeah. And if those prices are too much for you, our friend Bobby Tanzillo has compiled a list of mostly Milwaukee breweries because again he works for All Milwaukee. Okay, so there's a connection, but
Yep.
he has a whole list on Wisconsin. It's almost, I'm sorry y'all, we don't share links here because the links get, y'all can't, I don't think y'all can click on them, but it's on Milwaukee Black Friday beer. If you go to On Milwaukee and search for Black Friday beer, you'll find Bobby Tanzillo's list of Milwaukee Black releases. We talked about this last month, but now it's activated almost, y'all. So check that list out if Lakefront sells out or too pricey for you. There's going to be something in your price range. I know I know Such a Waters is in there. Everybody loves them as you should. And there's just a whole list. Eagle Park, I believe. I know Third Space is in on that. Everybody's doing that Black Friday thing, especially in Milwaukee. I don't know of much going on here in Madison, but I would keep an eye on Robert Shepard's feed, y'all, about Madison. He's all on everything Madison. Not sure what's going on, but I'm pretty sure there should be something because it's just a good day. So drop the ladies off, men, and if they want to go shopping, and y'all can go ditch out and get some beer, or ladies drop your men off to go shopping. Y'all get in there and get some beer. You want to be good,
However you want to do it.
there are plenty women who love their beer,
Sure.
and plenty men who love the shop. So it's not your normal stereotypical thing.
That's right.
We hear you, y'all. We know you're out there, and Shout out to the ladies who love craft beer. And we already talked to the men. You know what I mean? Like we're
Yeah.
backroom boys and all that. But shout out to the ladies. Y'all drink enough craft beer and y'all love it too. So we ain't trying to exclude you. We just know that generally y'all ladies care about getting those deals on Black Friday, which is smart. And we're just
Right.
kind of dope. We're generally kind of dopey about the whole shopping thing. So that's just the way it is. So men are dopey, women got their shit together and they're ready to go. And we're just like, can we have some more beer? So there we go.
Yeah, we're simple, simple
Yeah,
people.
we're simple. So Lakefront, y'all, Black Friday. Bobby Tanzillo's list on Milwaukee. If you're in the Milwaukee area, you have to at least look at it, y'all. Trust me
Yeah.
on it. It's impressive.
Yeah.
And it keeps getting updated too. So it's probably bigger than even I saw it this afternoon. So
Oh, no doubt.
good times. Thanks for Black Friday. I'm over here. I probably won't be able to get down there. I really want to, but yeah. So we have a Christmas one coming up here because we're getting close to Christmas.
Yeah, so there's a lot of Christmas markets coming up. This one in particular, so this one's the 8th annual Chris Kindle Market at Lazy Monk Brewing, December 2nd. It's from noon to 4. They set up all of what you would see in like Germany for the Christmas markets, the little booths that go outside. With all the little vendors and stuff, there's glass blowing, there's food vendors, people selling breads, all sorts of stuff that's out there. Usually they fry up some brats too, that go pretty fast. And then I have it on good authority that Santa and Mrs. Claus will be there once again too. So if the little ones want to meet them, I know that Santa and Mrs. Claus, I know them very well.
And northern Wisconsin is really close to the North Pole, y'all. I'm just saying.
Yeah, it is much
Right.
closer than Madison. Yeah,
Right. So they can just jump on down real quick,
right.
hop on that sled, come back real quick.
Yeah,
It's December 2nd, so y'all probably got snow up there. I feel it snows all year round up there.
not yet.
Oh, okay.
We had
Chill.
some that have melted. Yeah,
Yeah, Landon's like chill. Just relax.
Hey, we don't need it yet.
Right. But
I
Lazy
put-
Monk's excellent because they're always on that community tip with them. They're
Yeah.
always on the community tip. They got a really good. I know you know them better than me, but I always get the vibes of they're close to their community. They know what the people want. They're close contact. They're always doing things with. I know y'all specifically, like directly, and other community events. So just another community event at Lazy Monk, y'all. So have fun up there while y'all can, or while y'all do. How about that? Y'all have fun no matter what. I mean, y'all have fun in February, so who cares?
Yeah. This one's not in the sheet, but also Brewery Nonick is having one the same day. There's just not a lot of details about it, but a similar situation.
Okay.
A winter market. So if you're in Menominee or closer to Menominee, there's one to stop at there too.
Excellent. And y'all need to, start your
Oh yeah.
It's early, man. Don't be waiting until the 24th. Come on now.
Don't be like me. Yeah.
Right. And then this way you can find small local business artisan unique things that,
Exactly.
people can't get off of Amazon, so you won't be crossing gifts and you can also I like the small business, makes it a little bit more personal. I think.
Right. I agree.
Shout out to Lazy Monk. I love it.
If you are nearer to La Crosse that day and don't want to do any traveling, Froth Bite Fest.
Yeah.
So, a lisp, but it's Froth Bite Fest.
Yeah.
Also the same day, Saturday, December 2nd.
Yeah.
From 2 to
Everything
6.
happens at one time. Mhm.
Yep. At the La Crosse Center. So big place. A lot of winter beers, delicious bites. They will have over 40 breweries featuring their winter beers, ciders, and seltzers. They will have live music. And then food, of course. Tickets right now are $50 for general admission, $90 for VIP. And I believe if you have a sober driver, they're $30. So
wow.
Yeah.
All right. So, they have food. Okay. It says
Yeah, they got food.
holiday bites.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. I just drove through Lacrosse. I stopped at Lacrosse 608 I was talking about, and
Yep,
Lacrosse Distillery, and I love Lacrosse. It's beautiful out there.
it
So
is. It is.
yeah, and I don't know if y'all can use your TV. You can use that QR code there and get more information if y'all are interested. And that sounds fun. I've never heard of Frostbite. Have you?
I have not.
Yeah.
And we may have talked about it last year,
And I
but
forget.
yeah, my
Mhm,
memory is bad. Yeah.
mhm. So December 2nd for 4 hours, have some drinks and some food and drink some winter beers, y'all. Lacrosse.
Lacrosse.
Excellent.
One more event for this episode anyway. Stout Fest at Mobcraft Brewing, December 9th, noon to 8. And this is at the Milwaukee location. Bust out your ugliest sweater for a celebration of stouts. Yeah. Doors open at noon. They will be releasing 2023, and I always get this name wrong because I'm not good with the names. Padisha. It is
Mm.
their barrel-aged imperial stout, and then they're putting a ton of other stouts and malty goodness on tap that day. So I assume it will be crazy cold by that time, so it'll be a good time for Stout Fest.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And that's one from Milwaukee. And that's after Black Friday, after y'all big Black Friday, and y'all sober up after that. I don't know how long it's gonna take. Because there's some big beers and some
There's some
big
big
Black
beers.
Friday beers. But yeah, Southfest, that's one I've heard of. And I heard it's a good time. So y'all should oblige. Mobcraft always has some funky
They do.
on
Yeah.
tap, so it could always be fun with that. And I don't, Listen, I don't have an ugly sweater. I used to have one, but I grew out of it.
I've got a
you have an ugly
lot of
sweater?
them. I fill them out really well, but I think even the skinniest of us still fills ugly sweater out pretty well. So I don't feel as bad
Yeah,
as I used to about it.
no, you shouldn't.
Yeah.
And those are the events, y'all. If you have any events for us, shout them out. On any of our social media, lay in the social media mine, or send us an email or any of that good stuff, badgerbeerhour.com, all that good
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, y'all, let's go. Man, then this is where we try to talk about ourselves, but then we end up derailing and talk about other things. So do you have anything new with Taproom
I
Travelers?
no, nothing new. We're still closing up some of the loose ends of so that we can move on in 2024, and hopefully that'll get wrapped up here soon. And then hopefully by spring you'll see some new videos from Taproom Travelers. So
Excellent.
with so
Excellent.
yeah. Outside of that, I want to talk a little bit about Modicum. As we all know, and if you follow this, the Modicum's not coming back. So, we talked about that, but Eric has been able to get all of his remaining beer that he was hoping to have for himself into the hands of other great breweries around town. So, if you are looking for any Modicum beer, it is in any one of the many breweries that we have around this area. So between Menominee and Eau Claire and Altoona, it has all of Eric's remaining beer on tap. So you can find, I think it literally, other than Lazy Monk, I believe it is on tap everywhere. So, yeah.
Excellent.
Including his new one that it was supposed to debut or whatever. It's a honey beer of some sort. That's in a couple different places. So, yep.
It's not excellent, clearly, that they're closing,
Right.
but it's excellent that you can still get some while y'all fans are out there, and be a nice Christmas gift for a Modicum fan too. So think about
Yeah,
that.
I'm sure you can get growlers of it wherever it's being poured.
Yeah, and Modicum obviously is not big down where I'm from, but they're local. Love people love them there. So like the closer you get to Modicum, the more you're
Right.
gonna have people who love them.
Yep.
So y'all get out there while you can, while the weather's still nice, and grab some Modicum beer for the holidays. You're gonna need some maybe next Thursday night. So there you go. Thursday afternoon, Thursday morning. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
yeah. So for me, nothing really new going on besides trying to like finish the year with Friday stream. Brothers and Booze I did with Doug. This week we got my friend Jeffrey Bernstein and our co-host Renee, who does the Cult Bar with Doug. So we're gonna have some fun mixing it up, talking about Thanksgiving.
Cool.
Those two like to talk nails. Doug and I know nothing about nails, but those two do. Yes, Jeffrey does.
Yeah.
He's a male that wears nails, and he has his own little thing going on.
Yeah. Whatever,
So it's
man.
really fascinating. Black Friday, we'll have a whole bunch of fellas on. Lindy, you're welcome if you want. It's a Friday evening. Black Friday, I don't know if you're available, but we're all going to talk stouts and bring stouts in, and
Oh, that's cool.
maybe I could try to get
Yeah.
some. It's stout day, man. To me, that is the day where the clocks turn to stout season.
Yeah.
You already know that stout season, we do that all year round. But like it really starts to me that day because that's when the releases are. And like, it gets cold and everybody loves a good stout. Big stouts when it's cold. The bigger, the better, the better. They're great for holidays. They're great for that Christmas nightcap.
Yeah.
It's great. So stout season starts Black Friday. I mean, even if you don't have any local ones, that's still when the Goose Island drops, right?
I
Um,
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just
Yeah.
whether you like big beer or not, Goose Island is the OG, and they
Yeah.
still pump out. If you don't even like their regular line, their BCS,
There's
whatever
all
they call
sorts
it,
of yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's always good. Like that's never been effed with, and it's been really good. It's always good. I don't know, the prices have gone up on that, and the lines kind of still hang out. People still lined up for that. So
Yep.
I haven't had any in a while, Landon, but I know it's good. So even no matter whatever region y'all in, and if there's no local people dropping it, you could always look for that too. So, and if you're in a small town too, they probably stock it, and not a lot of people probably are on it. So you could probably
Right.
walk in. I know in Madison here there's lines. So, and I know in Milwaukee there's lines, but Milwaukee, I don't know if there's going to be lines for that because there's going to be lines everywhere. So, like,
Everything else. Yeah.
yeah, man. So y'all just have as we wrap here, we just want to thank y'all for watching us and supporting us. We also want to thank, wish you the best of holidays. Thanksgiving is a family football and fun day. So we hope that y'all are having fun somewhere. Drinking beer, of course, if you're watching this. Yeah, Landon, any
Yeah, Chris, by the way, Chris says hi to everybody out there. He will be back soon.
yeah.
Yeah.
December. Chris, we know you're watching too.
Time's a ticking, Chris.
Right, but we will be back December. I was asking, the truth is, tell Landon I was trying to say, hey man, maybe we can not do this month. Maybe we can take a month off. And the whole news with Carbon Four and all these things started popping. So it was like,
Yeah.
oh man, we need to
We got
give the
stuff.
audience what they need.
That's right.
So that is us. So but we are happy to bring this to you. We are feeling very important about ourselves because people want us in court cases. So maybe we need to tamp it down a little bit. Don't get our
Yeah.
heads too big over here, Landon.
We'll be humble in December.
Right. But we will see y'all next month here. I believe the date is, I usually have it, but I will get it right now. The date is the 20th of December. So Christmas will be that weekend, y'all. So we'll see
Yeah.
you the first right before Christmas. So y'all have a great Thanksgiving. Have a good Black Friday. Remember, support Landon and I can't say it enough. Support your local brewery. We do not know.
Absolutely.
We literally don't know what's going on, whether they're retiring, whether they're having landlord disputes, whether they're having money issues, whether they want to move on and become a jet plane pilot or whatever. There's always things going on. So you can never take any of them, and I mean any of them, for granted. And
That's
I
right.
mean any. I'm talking from New Glarus down to Parch Eagle. We never know what's going on, so support
Enjoy
them
them while
too if
they're
y'all
here.
can.
Yep.
Yep, support them too if you can. So, on that note, we're gonna get out of here because we're over an hour. Me and you. Look at that. Usually it takes Chris like 45 minutes to get through a dang interview,
Right.
and then that's the whole hour, right? And we can't blame this on Chris.
Can't blame
Like
it on
Chris
Chris.
he hasn't been here so many months, and we just don't have anybody to blame for all the problems, Landon.
Now we're the problem.
See, he's the problem. He said it.
Yeah.
I'm good. Anyway, y'all have a great Thanksgiving. We'll see you right before Christmas. Cheers, y'all.